Welcome to the Tech Voyager, an interview series where we hear success stories from software engineers who moved from India to the West. I am Dhruv Agarwal, your host for this series, and I'm an engineering manager who loves to build teams at scale. Today, we have Ayush Tomar, who is a principal scientist at United Health Group and is based out in San Francisco, Bay Area. He's a very dear friend of mine from my undergrad college. Ayush, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dhruv. And I know this is the first time you're doing it, and I'm the first guest, so I'm honored that you invited me as a first guest.
Pleasure is all mine. Uh, Ayush, I know that you have been in the US for a long time. I think 3, 4 years. How many years have you been there?
Close to 5 years now.
Close to 5 years. And
Yeah.
so before we, rush in on how's life there, I would love for our audience to know your background. So, kaise, where did it all start? Where was your schooling? And, college kahan tha? If you can throw some light on that.
Yeah, so I've been born in I've been born and brought up in Delhi. That's where I've spent most of my life before coming to the US. And I did my undergrad in computer science with you as a batchmate from DTU from
Yeah.
2012 to 2016. And at DTU May, I was I got interested in machine learning, so I did a few research projects with a few research labs, DTU May and outside DTU. Did a few research internships. I was also working on a robotics project within DTU, and then with this machine learning background and basically the theme that I had, I decided to do a master's in US from University of Minnesota, where my focus was on financial ML and deep learning. And after Minnesota, I spent 2 years at Amazon as a software engineer, where I was working on conversational chatbots. And now I'm working as a principal ML scientist at United Health.
Amazing, Ayush. Amazing. So, you know, how did this idea of moving to the West occur to you when all your upbringing was in India, in Delhi, and where did the idea of moving abroad come to you at the first time?
So even before college, if we talk about why I wanted to move to the US, so there's always role models around you, right? Like people you look up to. So I was uh, I was brought up in a community. So my father is also an engineer. He works at Bharat
Hmm.
Electronics, and we used to live in a township. And since it's an
Right.
engineering, like most of the people who are working in engineering, so you have engineers all across. In fact,
Yeah.
everyone I knew is becoming an engineer. So, and a lot of people who were like very competitive, or everyone was preparing for JE exams. And like few people I know that like they were all rounders, like good at everything from studies and like sports.
Right.
So all of them had a natural path that they went to good universities for undergrad, and immediately afterwards they left for US. So like initially my kind of idea was similar, that you have to do an undergrad from a good college in India, and then you immediately move to the US, and this is the path that you have to take for, and you call it success. So the idea that I'll go to the US originated from that thought. It's a very shallow thought, not that I think of it, but it was just like following their footsteps.
While in college, so did you come with a mind made up that this is my first, step, and then I'll move to the US, or did something occur after during the college, and if so, then what did you do about it? Like, when did you start thinking that, अच्छा अभी मैंने यहाँ पे first year हो गया है, I should do this intern, that intern, which will help me in my path to the, West US, or you know,
Okay. So yeah, जब मैं आया था तब like the path was pretty clearly defined कि हाँ, the end goal of at the end of 4 years I will be going out, I will be doing my master's or PhD at that point. And
hmm,
how this path got defined, like what steps I took to maybe prepare myself for that, like eventual after 4 years I'll go to US. That was all during the process of these 4 years. Like so when I came into the university, I did not know like what specialization I probably want to go in for my masters, right? So and in
right,
our universities, first year is mostly this all general topics, right? So you don't have that opportunity
yeah,
also. Although like we were in computer science, right? So we knew that from second year onwards it's going to be computer science heavy. And I think a lot of folks at that time were trying to pick something that they were good at, right? During that time, after
Yeah.
like during the first summer break, a lot of folks, some went for web development internships. A few folks, like some people, started reading about machine learning, AI, and I was on the
Yeah.
second portion of it. So I did the
Right.
standard CS 221 course, Stanford machine learning, which everyone does, and that's how I got interested into machine learning. And this idea of nonlinear systems and complexity, that it's always intrigued me a little bit. So I just wanted to explore
Hmm.
on that front. And another idea was that, like, in 2012, machine learning, it was a big thing in the US, but India mein, there were very few folks who were actually doing machine learning.
Right.
So थोड़ा सा यूएसपी वाला फैक्टर भी आ गया उसमें कि oh, I'll do something different. Not a lot of people talk about it. We didn't even have courses back then, right? हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में which
Right.
were focused on machine learning. So after first year, I like did this course, and then again, like,
Hmm.
now I've spent 2 months on this. I want to take it forward.
Right.
Uske baad, then I started looking for research labs within university where I can apply what I've learned. And
Hmm.
like, two things happened there. First was that I joined the robotics team, the autonomous underwater vehicle team of a university, and I
Hmm.
joined the digital image processing group of that team. So a lot of things
Right.
that I picked up on image processing, like corner detection, some rudimentary stuff, not too heavy on machine learning. I got to
Mm-hmm.
apply all of it during that time with the team. Or second thing that I did was I also got involved with the digital image processing research lab
Hmm.
in our university, and like started exploring ideas where I can like apply things like principal component analysis, independent component analysis, like little bit higher structured things that I hadn't explored before. I had just heard of them, so I just started exploring ideas around that. So this is basically how it
Amazing,
started
man.
for me,
Yeah.
mostly after first year. Yeah,
I think you mentioned USP. I would say it more than the USP that we understood. It was more of UBP, brag worthy point, not selling point. Because back then we didn't know,
there's no
if it
concept
was
of selling. Yes.
employment. Yeah, there was only a concept of being cool. Ki, we are doing something which is worthwhile, right? So that was the mission that we had at that time. So amazing, man.
Yeah, I also joined the research lab, right? So उस
Hmm.
research lab में in second year I got an opportunity to write two papers. And the papers
Okay.
were around the idea of independent component analysis for
Hmm.
basically denoising images. So that idea really brought me into the area of research. I got to read
Hmm.
papers, critique on them, and also wrote papers. And at the end of it, I got a chance to publish my work and also do lectures at two conferences which were outside India.
Oh wow.
And I think that was again another big milestone.
Right.
Confidence time pe aa gaya ki, hey, if me being a second year undergrad student is presenting to an
Right.
audience who are mostly all PhDs, then this is it. This
Hmm.
is going to be my path. I really enjoyed that. Writing
Right.
papers. I think I was one of the it was with me and Aman, and we were one of the few people who had actually like published a paper, went outside for conference presentation. So that was a really
Right.
confidence like boosting kind of event. Yeah.
Wow, amazing, and the entire story is very inspiring. Uh, I would say till date as well, I haven't found people with such vivid experiences within their undergrad, college, and just going out and about at every opportunity that comes in your way. It is truly and truly inspiring. So, Ayush, you know, you were getting some taste, some hints of how's life abroad, how are people there. You would have, you know when we see something which is substandard as compared to others, that would have been you know negative motivation that hey यार इनका हमसे इतना अच्छा है तो मे बी अगर मैं वहां जाऊंगा तो आई learn something which I'm not able to do here, right? So
Yeah.
was that a case with you as well?
Hi, yeah, that definitely happened with me. So
Yeah.
I was lucky to get a scholarship to do an summer internship at CMU, and like basically
Oh,
whatever things that I did in first 2 years that eventually led to this step. And I was fortunate to spend a summer at Carnegie Mellon for a research internship.
wow.
And that was the first time when I actually went out, not for a 10-day short trip where you are mostly like experiencing culture and like having very,
Yeah.
very brief conversation with other folks, but connect with people on a deeper level. I worked with a research group over there. And wahan jaake I realized how like how further these guys, how advanced these guys were. Mostly, like I talked with
Hmm.
undergrad folks, and they were doing higher level deep learning courses, time series courses. We've like
Right.
all of these things we've just either like seen videos on YouTube or done everything on our own,
Yeah.
right? There was no support system for us. And like seeing these
Right.
undergrads same age, and they knowing so like stuff which we which is like we read about it or like have some sort of shallow understanding. That was really eye opening for me. And like there was sort of a down point as well, sort of a downturn where I realized ki
Hmm.
hamari understanding about like these things is not that great. We're not getting that platform
Right.
in India. And that again reinforced my belief that okay, I have to come out and like work with these guys, at least spend 2 years for a master's, and if it
Hmm.
really syncs up with me for a PhD. So that was again really definitely a milestone, as I've been saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing, man. And so when you returned from there, so how was your life?
Since you've made some money on these internships, right? So
Yeah.
you also want to spend
So how
that. So
much money?
it's
How
a
much
different
money
kind
did
of
you make?
phase.
How much money did you make from that internship?
Just enough to
If you
survive
don't mind, of
in
course.
Pittsburgh for a summer. So the scholarship
Okay.
was $2,000, and they gave me a
Okay.
return ticket and everything. So 2,000 was just enough to survive in,
Hmm.
in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I
Not
can
survive.
imagine.
I actually had a good time, and actually I was able to save a little bit to get a buy a MacBook for myself. So it was good, substantial
Oh,
amount. Now
amazing.
2,000 would be pretty less, but at that time I think
Yes.
it was good enough. Yeah.
It would have been a substantial amount. I would guess the kind of amounts we were used to in college time, $2,000
Yes.
would have been great. So could you like throw more light on ki, how was your experience with applying abroad? What are the things that you did differently? Of course, we everybody knows ki the standard way is ki GRE do, and you apply to universities,
Yeah.
you have SOPs and LORs. But what was
Mhm.
different in your journey that made you unique?
Okay. So there were two things. First was that like all these things that I was doing, internship,
Hmm.
definitely all good for learning and basically informing yourself. But the second like reason was also to prepare my basically prepare my application packet for MS, right? So
Right.
all of these things really helped me. But
Hmm.
one thing that really happened with me during this course, that you're doing so many, as you said, you're hustling all across,
Right.
like all
Right.
throughout the undergrad, right? So there would be some sort of trade-off. And that trade-off for me was that I lost a little bit on grades. So I wouldn't say that I
Hmm.
was I had poor grades. So I was close to 80%, right? Which is pretty good, but I think it's not good
Yeah.
enough. So
Okay.
when I applied after coming back from CMU, I just applied to three universities: CMU, Stanford, four universities: CMU, Stanford, Georgia Tech, and Berkeley.
Hmm.
And all of these programs were like funded MSCS programs. I did not get into
Right.
any of these, and it was a little bit
Right.
surprising for me because I was hoping that after doing an internship with CMU, at least CMU would take me in, right? Now that
Yeah.
I think of it, I know people who have been on MS admissions committee. Your grades, I think, is one of the biggest factors when they're deciding whether they even want to see your application packet or not.
Right.
So even if you have 80%, 80% is like they don't know the conversion scale. So 80% for us is like top notch, but over here it's
Yeah.
eight, right? And
Hmm.
eight is like around little bit around B minus, close to C
Hmm.
plus range in the US.
Right.
So
Okay.
now that I think
Okay.
of it, seeing that 75, 80 range, they would have considered as like B plus or C minus, which is pretty bad. And the application
Right.
would just go to trash can. They would not even come close to looking at your application packet and seeing, oh, yeah,
Hmm.
this bande ne, he has done GSOC, he has done internship, he has done two papers, and blah blah blah. So I think
Hmm.
that was something I didn't understand. I should have focused more
Hmm.
on it. Also maintaining my grades, and all other folks within our batch who focused more on grades and GRE. I had a good GRE score. I don't think GRE matters as much, as long as it's a
Hmm.
decent enough score. They got into better universities. I could not.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of a bad time for me because I did not sit for placements as well, and then
Right.
I did not get into my intended like universities. But
Right.
fortunately, I was doing an internship. Like again, the hustle part. I was doing an internship with a startup, Right Relevance, and
Okay.
like Right Relevance was Vishal, the CEO, was generous enough to give me a full time position,
Hmm.
and I had a great time working with them as well. But otherwise, it would have like gotten into a little bit of like dark territory. I
Right.
probably would have gotten out and did another internship outside.
Right.
But yeah, that's basically how application process worked for me.
Amazing, man. So, after
Yeah.
that, how did you land up with Amazon? Uh, and just couple of questions on how was working there, culturally, financially.
Yeah. Yeah. So Amazon. I had never worked for a big company during this journey. I
Hmm.
did never did an internship at a big company, even during
Right.
undergrad and masters. So I wanted to have sort of that experience. And you
Hmm.
guys, like you, all of my undergrad batchmates, they were working for Amazon, Google, or some sort of big company. You were an outlier. But like except you,
Yeah.
everyone else was working at these big
Yeah.
companies, and a lot of folks were moving from India to US from these companies. So
Yeah.
I had a great option,
Especially
another
Amazon.
option to,
Especially
especially
Amazon.
especially especially Amazon. Yes, especially
Yeah.
Amazon. They didn't have that constraint of that you had to be an L5 and work for 1 year at that time. So
Yes.
a
Yes.
lot of people moved in.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I wanted to experience that for myself. I had another machine learning opportunity in New York. In hindsight, I should have taken that other opportunity.
Hmm.
Like at Amazon, I initially started with EC2 Nitro, which was a data plane team working on close to hypervisors. Very different
Hmm.
than what I didn't have natural instinct around OS and
Right.
lower level constructs. So although the team was great, I met with peers who were some of the smartest people I've met. So like it was
Hmm.
really impressive, but I didn't have that natural instinct around OS design. So
Right.
I moved out of that team, and then I relocated to the Bay Area, where I started working on conversational chatbots. So Amazon experience
Hmm.
for me was pretty great. Like I got the hint of working at a big company, although now the company I'm working is also a big company. I prefer
Hmm.
working in smaller teams where there's more interpersonal connection, where I can somehow also influence the product and not just be too focused on technical portions of it. That's just my
Right.
personal preference. That you wanted me to talk about, like how finances worked for me. So I was really lucky to get full tuition waiver at Minnesota
Hmm.
for doing like TA, and I didn't have to pay anything for my masters. So luckily that
Amazing.
like
Yeah.
eased out things for me a little bit. So I didn't have to think
Hmm.
about paying back a loan or paying back to parents. So that experience for me was really great. I would say.
Yeah.
So finances, I would assume like if you were as a graduate from an undergrad college, you would be
Hmm.
working for let's say Amazon, and your lifestyle changes in a pretty great way, right? You start spending a lot. So
Right.
I had a similar experience working in the US. Like I would assume that anyone coming out of an undergrad program would have a similar experience when I came out of a master's program. There was no debt, and like like finances were all under control. I would say
Right.
that
Right.
was not a factor for me. Yeah.
Amazing, man. So, just to sum it up now, any advices that you would like to give? So I'll give you situation of a person, and then
Mhm.
what advice you would give. So, what advice would you give to a person who is just in the college, so first to third year of a person? So, what advice would you give?
I would say do an internship. Don't just try to be too fixated on coursework and grades. Try to find startups. uh, like it doesn't have to be a paid internship. It's okay not to get paid for
Hmm.
like at least for your first internship.
Yeah.
After that you should be paid because there's some skin in the game
Right.
when you're getting paid. But definitely do an internship or work with a research group outside your university. try to travel, try to find opportunities outside your city. So I never spent any summer or winters in at home. Even we had a small 2 month
Right.
break after second year. We went out to Triple IT Hyderabad, reached out to the prof ourselves. They invited us. So have something, have similar experiences. Try to find opportunities out of your comfort zone and go for it. And
Great.
definitely you need to
And
have a technical
someone,
background to be to so that anyone would spend their time on you. So try to build that
yeah,
technical expertise in something that you like before starting college, or let's say the first summer after, or like first summer after your first year.
yeah, and I would just add to it that add some soft
Yeah.
skill on that to present your work. You should waste, the least amount of time. You should give an idea, maybe prepare a deck of what you have done, or a short video, or a beautifully written cover letter. Don't just rely on making a resume, because everyone knows that an undergrad resume will not have something. So don't try to fill in fluff with it. uh, Try to just showcase your work in the best manner possible
Yeah.
and make it relevant for the other person. uh,
Yeah. You
Amazing,
have to
Ayush.
grab,
So
like, get their attention, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So and
Okay.
so for a person who is, let's say, in their job, who's trying to apply to the colleges, but they are having a hard time. So let's say two situations: one who does not have a very high GRE score, and the other who has a high GRE score, but both of them have difficulty in getting admits from a good college, or maybe who are targeting a good college. So what will be your advice for
Um, so there's two portions to it, right? So first is if the GRE score is not high enough, and
them?
assuming that they haven't done as much like fundamental research, or like they don't have like out of the like top notch grades in college,
Yeah,
then it's natural that they're going to have a hard time. And one
right.
way people do it with that situation is that they try to gain some work experience, and they try to pick up projects at work which is similar to the kind of things that they want to do in a master's program. So for them, my
Hmm.
advice would be, if they want to come for masters, try to pick projects at work where you can demonstrate like basically a purpose why a master's program
Right.
is probably going to help you out. What are the things that you're
Hmm.
not able to what are the opportunities that you're not able to get within that work, the projects or the work situation you have, and how a master's program is going to help you out. I've seen a lot of folks in India, they don't pay attention as much to statement of purpose, like, but I think if you have a clear purpose, then things will start coming together really well for you, and you will eventually find a path. So I think it's important to have that statement of purpose and then work towards it. Not just like, it shouldn't just be limited to 2 pages of paper.
Right. And what would be your advice to someone who has a great GRE score, but not as much,
Mhm.
research experience, or maybe a stellar experience in their college, but they now have, thought of moving abroad and have a good GRE score. So, what should they do to make their case in a good university?
So I think what could help here is they could try doing some summer schools. Maybe take a month out and try to do a summer school. I know there's at our time there used to be a lot of summer schools at CMU and London Business School, where they taught like some classes, and you it was actually graded, so you could have something to show out of it. So
Hmm.
summer schools or internships is one way. You cannot really do an internship while you're working. Um, I'm not sure that GRE score or grades would be like a factor here. Like, this person, I would assume, is maybe shooting for the
Okay.
top universities, right? So what they
Hmm.
need at this point would be some sort of research experience. So maybe associating themselves with a research lab, or maybe volunteering for a research lab outside India for basically could really help build their case. They need to have some good LORs, right? So
Hmm.
either doing summer schools, in summary, either doing summer schools, get that graded sort of like get that experience where you're graded relative to other people
Hmm.
outside university. And the second place could be do some voluntary research internships with groups outside India.
Super, super. Thank you so much, Ayush, for your time and lovely story. Uh, Although I knew some of it, before, it
Most
was
of it.
inspiring to hear it back again. Uh, and for everyone, I'll just put Ayush's LinkedIn profile, my LinkedIn profile in the description so that you can reach out to us. If you have any doubts, you can also comment if you have any questions, any queries that you'd like us to answer. We'd be happy to help. Thank you so much, Ayush. I would wish you all the best for your new job as a principal scientist at a very large firm. So good luck, man. Take care. Thank you for giving us time.
Yep, no problem. Thank you, Dhruv.